Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to God First Christ Gang Media News. Welcome to God First Christ Gang Media News. I am your host, Brian Taylor Bridges. Welcome to God First Christ Gang Media News. Come on in, y'all. Come on in, man. I want to give a big shout out to Pastor Michael Martin. Pastor Michael, you all, of Oak Spring Missionary Baptist Church. Again, that's Pastor Martin of Oak Spring Missionary Baptist Church, Arlington, Texas, you all. And Pastor Mark decided, him and his church congregation, that they was going to give back to the community that they was actually being fed from. You know, the community that was actually coming to support them and give and pay their tithes to, you all. You know, they want to display a little bit of loot, y'all. A little bit of loot. I said, yep. To whom much is given, much is required. Copyright disclaimer under Title 17 U.S.C. Sections 107. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news report, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute and might otherwise be infringed. Non-profit, educational, and personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use, you all. It tips the balance in favor of fair use, you all. Yes, like I said, I just wanted to come on here and give a big shout out to this church and Pastor Michael Martin, you know, and this great leadership that he is giving back to his community. You know, so many times we have these different churches, you know, that they don't do nothing of this magnitude. They don't do anything to give back to the people of which it's actually keeping the lights on at the church, you all. So this particular church and this pastor, they decided that they was going to give 100 members, actually 103 members, pay their electric bills, you all. And this happened to be electricity, gas, and water, you all. So, you know, big shout out to Pastor Michael Martin of Oak Spring Missionary Baptist Church, Arlington, Texas. I'm going to go ahead on and read an article to you all and play a news clipping. So let you see this good work that has been done, you all. And I also would like to read a small verse of Luke 12, verse 48. Luke 12, verse 48. To whom much is given, much is required, you all. So you all come on and join me as I, give a shout out to this pastor right here, you all.
The County Church is helping more than 100 families in need pay their electric bills. This is right on time. Oak Springs Baptist Church in Arlington realizing there was a need with the temperatures being so high. Their donation will cover $500 of the family's MLGW bills.
We certainly believe that to whom much is given, much is required. This particular effort for the MLGW.
I'm going to go ahead on and cue it back to you all because I would like to, cut my speaker on so you all can hear what the pastor himself, has to say about this, because like I said, I believe that it's a very generous thing. I'm going to cut this back off again because I really want to kind of elaborate on it. Like I said, it's a very generous thing for a pastor to, take a stand to, because, he could have actually took some of that money and went put him a down payment up on some kind of vehicle, some kind of Mercedes Benz, some kind of Bentley or something, and instead of taking the church money and blaming it on some kind of building leak or some kind of we need some kind of funding for a big screen TV or some kind of particular silly stuff that has no particular duties in the church, within the community as far as giving back, and then in this particular time where it's hot, there's so much going on, these elders are having a hard time paying their bills, and this particular church family has came through and actually has given back to the community. The pastor said, "To whom much is given, much is required." So you all, like I said, instead of him mishandling this church funding, they decided to do the right thing, and I think that's very honorable. Like I said, very most honorable. So I'm gonna finish and let the pastor tell you all about his feelings.
Arlington realizing there was a need with the temperatures being so high. Their donation will cover $500 of the family's MLGW bills.
We certainly believe that to whom much is given, much is required. This particular effort for the MLGW customers is just a small portion of what we do feel is required of a church investing back into the community from which it draws from. We've been under great hardship financially, socially, and even spiritually. And what better way to offer some sense of spiritual solace is to meet financial needs.
Luke 12:48. To whom much is.
That's right, you all. To whom much is given, much is required. Like I said, a big shout out to this pastor and this leadership, because collectively they made the decision that they was going to do the right thing with their church community. It's not just the pastor, but shout out to his team, his surrounding cast, the people that God has placed into these particular areas to help the pastor get his job done. These particular people are most important. They are just as important as the pastor, because like I said, they help him, carry his message, get the things done in church that he not able to do, because a pastor can't be at all places at one time, So, shout out to, like I said, his church family, his church team and community, for, like I said, coming together and representing the body of Christ, very well. And like I said, I would like to take the time out and myself read to you all Luke 12. It said, "But he that know not and did not commit it, the worthy of stripes." It said, "But he that knew not and did committed things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For whomsoever much is given, much shall be required. And to whom men have committed much of him, they will ask more. They will ask the more." Amen. I don't really understand, the beating portion of it, but I understand to whom much is given, much is required. I mean, that's just like a duty to do the righteous things, to take on the responsibilities and becoming more productive citizens, becoming better parents, better providers, better fathers, and better men in our community, So, when we are given these duties and becoming leaders or teachers and messengers within our community. I mean, this is one of the things, that we want to acquire as men, is to become good stewards of the things that God allow us to have, the grace and mercy that he bestows upon our life. Like I said, big shout out to Pastor Michael Morton. And I will take a brief moment and read also, let me see. Did I have this? I had an article. Well, I put the article in the bottom, you all. Let me see if I can get to it briefly. Oh, y'all. Well, I did have said, let me see, I'm sorry. Well, like I said, I do have the video. I did share the video with you all. Hold on, because I do have that, and I did want to also share it with y'all. It's only a brief moment. Like I said again, I just want to come on here and give a big shout out to Pastor Michael Martin again. For like I said, you very seldom see churches doing this, and he has decided to take on the responsibilities to pay the bills for not only his church community, but other families as well. So big shout out to Pastor Michael Martin of the Oak Spring Missionary Baptist Church, Arlington, Texas. God first, Christ came.